You wait for us. Okay, are you ready? Are we live?
We are now live, Ange.
Okay, I didn't
We
even
just
know we
need
were
someone
live.
to
So everybody, hello, how are you
confirm that
doing?
we're not echoing.
Yes, confirm. I don't think we are. Well, welcome to Golf Cart Adventures in Lilydale with Angie and Karen. We are excited to be with you again this week, right, Karen? Here we are taking a little ride through Lilydale, and we have a surprise for you. We are going to go visit another registered Lilydale medium. I had this great idea because I want you to get to see everything that there is in Lilydale that there is to see. So take a look right here, and you will see the Lily restaurant. Okay, there are restaurants in Lilydale, and this one is delicious. So I recommend that if you come down, you come on over. Come to the Lily. They serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Our good friend Kathleen manages it. She's a fantastic cook. And I don't know if you can see, but right past the Lily, right over there, you see the little red building. Hello, sorry, we're blocking traffic. Here we are. But that's the Sunflower, and that's another restaurant. So there's two excellent restaurants in Lilydale. The Lily, you can actually sit inside. Okay, you see it's a screened-in porch. I love that. And the Sunflower, I don't know if you can see, but they're seating all on the outside, which is nice. And right here too, over here is, I just get a shot of that's the auditorium. And you've seen us go by that on the other side. It's all opened up, but that's how you get into the auditorium is right there. So it's pretty perfect that you can come to the Lily. You can have a bite to eat, right, Karen?
Yes, yes. I
Okay,
love the lily.
let's get a shot here. Okay, this is Lilydale's community butterfly habitat. This is amazing. Everything planted in here is for butterflies, so it attracts them. And we're not seeing any right now, but they're in there. I assure you. And also it's wonderful too because on opening day they have a butterfly release ceremony, and you can release a butterfly in somebody's name. Okay, somebody on the other side. And I want to show this too, because if you haven't been here, there are parks all over Lilydale. So, and each one has a name. I can't remember the name of this one. I don't know if I can see that far to tell you the name of it, but there are parks everywhere and benches, and it's wonderful. You know, I had clients today, and every single client that came in said, I feel so at peace. I don't want to leave, you know. And I guarantee you one thing about Lilydale too is once you're here, you come back, right, Karen?
For sure, for sure.
Over and over again. So I wanted to show you that, and I also wanted to show you this. And we can't go inside, but we're going to line something up that we can. But that's the Crystal Cove. The Crystal Cove, probably one of my most favorite stores ever. I remember when I came to Fellowships of the Spirit school, I pretty much went to the Crystal Cove and bought a souvenir every time because I couldn't help myself. My friend Sandy and I, if she sees this, but Crystal Cove is one of the shops. I want to show you the other shops. So here we are, we're going down. I think we should go down 2nd Avenue, don't you, Karen?
Yeah, 2nd Street again. Angie's favorite street.
My favorite street. Here we are, going right on down 2nd Street. I don't know what we're going to find. I don't know if any of you know what's on 2nd Street, if you remember, but we're getting there pretty quickly, aren't we?
Yeah, step on it, Ange. Let's
Okay.
see what this thing can do. Huh?
Yeah,
There we
see.
go. Woohoo! Woo!
Yeah,
I love the wind.
Here, the wind in our hair. Look at this. Take a look at this. Look at this house, okay? Look at this cute house and take a look at whose name there is on the sign. Woo, it's me. I'm so excited. I love, love, love staying in this house. I love people get to sit on my front porch when they're waiting for readings. It's amazing. And you know, I have openings. I love to have you come on down for a reading. It'd be great to see you and come over and hang out with me on 2nd Street. Get a ride in the golf cart, right, Karen?
Yeah. Open for business.
And hang out on the front porch with me because I love doing that too. I don't know if you're noticing, like as we're driving too, the flowers. You know, we had an idea of kind of doing maybe gardens of Lilydale because the gardens are amazing. But before we do that, I don't want any stores to feel left out. So right here is the bargain shop. So that's another shop open all the time. Bargain shop is nice too because if you need some water or something, you can always get a bottle of water or a bottle of juice or what have you. And Karen, can you get a shot over there? If you all can see, there's a pavilion here, and we've actually done that where we've rented that pavilion. I rented a big club van. Some of you that are watching might remember because I actually drove it. And we came down to Lilydale for a tour, and we reserved the pavilion, and we had a wonderful picnic. It was really nice, really nice. Now, another thing I want to point out, because there's a lot to do in Lilydale if you come for the day, but right there, we're going to do another show, I think, on the labyrinth. So if you haven't ever walked a labyrinth is amazing. I guess, like I said, amazing, like a maze in a way, but different. And you walk the labyrinth, and say you have something you're trying to get an answer on in your life, or you can't decide what to do. You come and you walk any labyrinth, really, this one, anyone. And when you get to the middle, it has different circuits, so it takes a little while to walk through. And you get to the middle, and you kind of stop and pause, and you get insight. It's like a way to connect to your intuition. You get and usually you get some good insight to whatever it is that you're looking for an answer for. Is there a car behind us?
No, but
I need mirrors on the golf cart here.
we couldn't get a really good shot of it, so we'll have to come back someday.
Yeah, we will.
And,
We'll actually get out of the golf cart. But
Usually there's black squirrels. I did not see one.
I've seen them around today, but not. You're right, not since here. This is the Lyceum. That's an old building. I'm not going to tell you the history because I don't remember.
Yes,
there is.
yes.
I don't
we'll
remember
find
yet.
out the history,
Yeah,
or
we
find
will.
someone else.
But that's a great place to teach or take a class. I've taught in there. And that's also children's. Like, look at this, everybody, too. You bring your children, and guess what? There's swings and also campgrounds back there. I don't know if you can see that. But show this, Karen, too, right next to us. This is Once Upon a Thursday. And this is my friend Lisa, who said she would let us come in here a day, and we can actually tour the shop. It's a great shop, I'm telling you. Good stuff in there. You'll love coming here to find the perfect gift for somebody, or I don't know about Karen. I know Karen usually is like a gift for them and one for me.
Yeah, I got some cards in there last year, and she's got incense and jewelry.
Yeah, but don't you usually buy like one for you? And,
Oh,
I
do. I did that with cards.
And as you see, like, we get to Once Upon a Thursday, and here we are once again at the Stump, which we're definitely going to do
the entrance.
The entrance to the Stump. So we're going to do another show from the Stump, and I thought maybe I'd give some messages. So not today, okay, but if anybody would like a message, hang on for that show a couple weeks, and we're going to do that. So now here we are on South Street, another one of my favorite streets in Lilydale. And you can see like all the super cool houses down here, all old houses, kind of nice. And I see that we are coming up upon here. So remember this, South Street, okay, 12 South Street. And oh my God, look who I'm seeing over there. Who is it? It's our buddy Janice Dreschman and Sir Tibbetts Wick. Hi, Janice.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Yeah, yes, we would love to come in. We can. So take a look at this, everybody. We have Haven Cave Himalayan Salt Room, 12 South Street in Lilydale. Simply salt. Right, Janice?
You got it.
And this is Janice's house, and this is Dr. Reverend Janice Dreschman. Hi, Janice.
Hi, Angie and Karen, how are you?
I know, I got to get out and give you a hug.
Tibbetts, Wick for your golf
And
cart,
here's the
please.
puppy. I know. Not after we go for our golf cart
Yeah, I
race,
got
right?
you.
That
I
might
got
change.
you.
That might change then. Got to make sure I put it in park here too, because we don't want the golf cart to roll away down the street. Like that could not be good too.
No, like anything could happen.
Yeah, anything could. You never know. You never know in Lilydale,
Yeah,
right?
we're live. You never know.
We're live.
We are live, you never know.
We are live, so you never know. But everybody, this is Janice's house, and Janice is a registered Lilydale medium. You can come down and get a reading, and honestly, really, come down and go in Haven Cave. And I'm going to have you, we can come in and take a tour.
Yeah, it'd be
All right.
great.
And tell everybody how they can make a reservation.
Yeah, it was just sprinkling, but sunshining, so we were hoping for a rain. It's got to be on something. So, yeah, if we could find it. That's find it. Ready, Tibbs, to go in? Come here, good boy.
Yeah, he is a good boy.
He's a very good boy. This is Sir Tibbetts Wick.
Yes.
Cassandra's granddaughter calls him Mr. Timbit.
Oh, she
So,
does. Oh my
he
gosh,
does,
that's
so
so
now
cute.
we just call him Mr. Timbit.
Yes.
So this is our beautiful Haven Cave. Just real quick, the house over there, the original part of the house goes back to the 1893 in one of the original platform houses at Lilydale, leaning up on the boards. So we'll take you in just real quick. We used the peacock door, love the stained glass. The day that this was put in was the Sabian symbol internationally for peacock. So we took it as very good intentions.
Good
and
sign,
love.
yeah. It's
So,
beautiful too.
yeah.
It's
Trying to
beautiful.
get without a
Wow. Can you get that
reflection.
good, Karen?
Yeah, we've got a little bit of a reflection.
But that's
But
okay.
it's
We'll,
going on.
yeah, and we'll get it again on the way out too.
Yeah,
I love
come
it.
on in,
I love
come be
it,
our
Jen. I
guest.
love it. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Come on in.
Okay.
You're walking on 24 karat gold underneath. It's all over.
Wow.
And we'll just close the door. Went with the lights to show funkiness in relation to the world. Life should be fun.
Oh,
If you want to kick your shoes off, you can. You're not obligated to.
I
You
won't.
go any way you want.
Okay.
And then right through here, this is a replica. My spouse Robin, who passed away, made this. They walk with you.
Oh.
This used to be in the old part of the house, the old reading room. The other part, the addition, is a replica from Camp Silverbell, which is, well, it no longer exists, but it was a spiritualist camp in Ephrata, PA.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
And originally, I'd found the one in Ephrata underneath the grounds. They were looking at demolition, so I talked with the contractor and all the people in charge, and they were going to lift it. And when they lifted it to flatbed, they were going to donate it to me, and then I was going to donate to Lilydale. It started to crack, so they couldn't get it up. But it's a nice reminder when you walk in that they always walk with you, whether we have loved ones and people in heaven.
They sure do. And
Or
that's a
here on
great
earth.
reminder, especially we sure are. And they're with us all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, we know that, right?
Amen.
We know that for sure. That's
Yes.
why people come to Lilydale to find that out.
Come on in.
Yeah, what about the wood too? I love the
The
wood.
wood, this was all
It's gorgeous.
redone. One of my friends actually redid everything in relation to here, the entire edition. John McNiff of McNiff Homes.
And
Gorgeous.
just to remind people who are joining in, we are at the Haven Cave. It's a salt cave in Lilydale run by Reverend Janice Dreschman.
Come on in, Karen. Come on in, Angie.
Oh,
okay. You
all
got
right, thank you.
1,500
Thank
pounds
you.
pure harvested
Whoa.
Himalayan salt that's awaiting you.
Oh my God. Wow. Karen, get this. It's beautiful.
Oh, geez. What's that? Yeah.
Beautiful.
Try to multitask.
Oh, you can feel it too as soon as you walk in.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
amazing.
The wood is actually from the tree that was in the back that had to be taken out. So we just transitioned it. This is a piece that's from the old growth forest. One of our friends had gifted us with.
Really?
We had the Tibetan monks in here, the Geshis, who came in and did prayers and healing. They sat over here and giggled a lot in the best way. And I tried to explain Himalayan, which they got that, couldn't quite understand the salt.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it was pleasant. So very happy that everything is to the point where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Set in the direction of the east, which in Native American and Celtic thoughts or traditions is about new beginnings. And then the octagon, always wanted an octagon. I remember saying that to my mom when I was little. She said, "Okay, honey, someday." So based on sacred geometrics.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it lines up with the standing stones that are in the back. They used to be out front, replica from stones that I had seen over in the UK, England and Ireland and Scotland. And then the stones line up directly with the solstice. Each solstice, all the planets directly align.
It's beautiful.
Another
It's so-
peacock, Janice. She's
Yes, and she lovely.
Is she peacock's the
Oh.
theme here?
I'm going to say it probably is at this point. Peacock, knowing that it represents spirituality, is beautiful when you think about a peacock spreading its wings to show beauty and love and grace.
Yeah.
It kind of fits. The lamps go anywhere from 5 pounds up to a couple hundred. It's pure harvested Himalayan salt, so if one of the lamps would accidentally fall, you could use it as Epsom salts, or you could use it as a salt lick on a
Okay.
farm.
Okay.
So it's the real thing. You can eat it if you want, not something I would do.
Do your
Okay.
dogs lick it? I had a salt key or a salt lamp, and
Yeah.
the dog went after it all the time.
Sir Tibbetts does not. What Sir Tibbetts Wick does is he'll bring his toys in and he'll play. And then the other thing that he does is he likes to actually come in and take a nap.
Oh,
Yeah.
it
You
has
said that
great
it was-
energy in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
You can feel it. So tell everybody so why would you come to a salt cave?
So why would you come to a salt
I
cave?
know a
Yeah,
lot of people
you
know.
can have a seat if you want. You're more than welcome to. If Karen, you want to grab a seat, totally up to you.
You're gonna-
Oh, I'll
Here.
sit next to you.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll interview this way.
Whichever way you want.
Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, so why would someone come to a salt cave?
Yeah.
I don't use a halogenerator. Halogenerators actually crush salt and then spew it out into the air. That could get it lodged or caught inside the lungs and the chest. So this is as natural as it comes. If you've been in salt rooms before, they might have it on the walls or on the floor. It's more for aesthetics.
Yeah.
In here, how I explained it to the kids is if you can imagine the ions, 1 second, Tibbs. Imagine the ions coming in, and it just rejuvenates and reoxygenates. That's why being in here for 45 minutes is like 2 days at the beach. So research says, I work with both a researcher and scientist. In literature, we found helps with pulmonary, cardio, skin ailments. We found some research in relation to autism.
Wow.
So it's been pretty good. I'm gonna put him down if that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
gonna be
Absolutely.
good. Here you go, Tibbs. Whoa. Here you
We're
go,
dog
boy.
people. We're dog. He's adorable. You know, I remember when you first opened it, and I got to come in on opening day.
Yes.
Yeah, and I felt so lucky. And I remember sitting here and I felt better. I was tired that day.
Yeah.
You know, it was just right at the beginning of opening season, and I felt so good.
Yeah, it's about rejuvenation and healing. If you think about people going to the ocean and feeling refreshed, or the Dead Sea is always a good example. How many thousands of years people have gone there for healing. We've had physicians in here that I did not know, epidemiologists that I did not know until afterwards. They shared. They had a beautiful experience. We asked them to do a testimonial. It's been beautiful. I think the gift is that the people that have come in and kids have come in, people of all ages from all walks of life. And it's just like I say, when you come across the gates of Lilydale, I've always said there's something spiritual, mystical, magical happens here. And I feel that something like that happens in here. We started doing before and after pictures. Okay, so that you can see people's faces and how much more relaxed they are. Sometimes people will get pictures of lights through them or in the room. One of my friends had come up and she was having a lot of skin ailments, and after being here, she was in here about an hour, and she said, "Oh my gosh," she called me Dresch, all kinds of things. She said, "Look, my face just even feels better." So
I felt the same way, and actually, you didn't take pictures of me, but you told me I looked a lot younger.
You did. You look
good. Better, yeah.
Still
I looked
do.
a lot better, yeah. Looked a lot better after. So
yeah, it's a beautiful place of healing. Had some folks come up from Georgia, came in, and she had said, we like the 9 o'clock appointment, the early appointment, because it sets our day and theme right the entire week of being at Lilydale. And she just said it's very healing. Different people will have different experiences. Once you go through the rest of the house, all we have are barn doors. So people have heard music, children, choo-choo trains, people talking, kids singing.
We hear that in here?
In here.
Wow. So spirits here.
Very
we know spirits here.
In the best way.
Yeah.
Sometimes people come in and they may use the anti-gravity chairs. They may fall asleep. I wake them up gently. I say, I mind the time. What's Sir Tibbetts and I mind the time. Some will stretch out on the floor and do meditation. Had one woman who was in here doing yoga afterwards, and must have missed one of Sir Tibbetts' orange squeaky toys because she had stepped on it and the squeak went off. It's just a beautiful place.
It is beautiful. Just sitting here, I feel that. So if somebody's coming to Lilydale and they want to come, which I would highly, highly recommend, just sitting here for a couple minutes, I feel better. You do too, Karen?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. So do you have to make an appointment?
Yeah,
walk in?
It's pretty simple. What I always suggest is go to our website for both salt. I call it Salt and Reads, and it's at spiritmessagework.com.
Okay.
I have it up on the
Karen's
screen.
got that up, yeah.
So spiritmessagework.com.
Whoa.
And if it seems like a fit, great. And
Yeah.
if it doesn't, that's okay
Of
too.
course, yeah.
Always better to make the appointment. People are in here probably they probably get almost that full hour. And then I've been going through a process. I work with a lab in Pittsburgh because of COVID and the pandemic, how to keep the room clean. So we clean, sanitize, disinfect, and do a whole 5-step process.
Yeah, for sure.
So
they can come down and sit in here for an hour. And
they
then
come on in. I mind the time. I tell them to be as comfortable as they can, and they'll be, well, you'll keep the time. We don't have. I'm like, you get to just come and be, and it's a great place just to. Always say, just breathe. Relax, breathe, come and just be. just be.
Excellent. And that's what you said to me, and I did that too.
Yeah.
So, and they can also come out and talk about your readings too. You do readings here too.
A registered medium here at Lilydale have been reads. Again, I always say go to the website at spiritmessagework.com. Look over the information. It feels like a fit. That's awesome, and if it doesn't, that's okay too.
I say
so.
Yeah, it's got to be. You're drawn to who you're meant to go to here. I feel every time.
And I read for kids. Little kids, of course, will have to have a parent or guardian with them, but any age. The beautiful thing about phone reads is that we can reach, and I've always done the phone reads, probably starting in maybe about 2009, 2010, is that you can read for people overseas. So we don't have to keep Lilydale at a distance anymore. For some reason, someone can't get here, and especially with what we've gone through with 20-something months of the pandemic.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, we can read for, I always say, people from Abu Dhabi to Australia, United States, Canada.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I know.
It's a beautiful thing.
All over.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is beautiful. And do you do readings phone and Zoom as well?
Yes, everything's online. Again, if it's a fit. Face-to-face readings right now, not yet doing those. Just trying to see how to mind the time.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to do reads in here. We just have to see how everything goes. I have a salt room, mediumship. I have a puppy and life and
yes, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
We gotta stay safe. Like, that's the most important thing, and I know in Lilydale we've done that.
Absolutely.
Big time. So, all right, so we're talking about mediumship. I love talking mediumship. I know you do as well, right? That's our favorite thing. So, okay, so of course I read your website before we did this. So you were connecting with spirit as a child?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the story is when I was about 2.5, 3 years old, I asked my mom, we were on the second floor, we had a 2-story house from Munhall, so outside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We were on the second story where all the bedrooms were, and I asked if I could play with my friends at night. And my mom, first of all, wanted to know if they were friendly. And I said, well, yes, And then she said, okay, are they big like me, or are they little like you? And I said, well, Mom, they're big like you. And she said, okay, well, you can play with them as long as they're friendly, but you can't go anywhere. You can't go up the steps with them. Now, I remember at that point not understanding, in my mind, we were already up on steps. There aren't any more steps in the house.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, she said she didn't want me to go up the steps to heaven. So that's what she meant
stay
by
here. I remember Elaine always said that too. Make sure stay here.
Yeah.
Right? Stay here. Yeah. So you kind of went, and you remember that? Like,
oh, it's clear as day.
Yeah.
Clear as day.
And how wonderful that your mom encouraged that. Right?
My mom has always been supportive in my family of the heart. My mom passed in March of 2017, and all the way up until just very loving and kind and supportive. When I finally got an iPhone with FaceTime, my spouse and I would use it because she was sick, and my kids that I work with, like, you got to get an iPhone. So I got one because of the video. It's a lifesaver. Yeah. So then what I started to do for my mom is take her on a golf cart ride. So this was the time of Cup of Joe. So we would go down and say good morning to Sharon and look at the pastries, ride around. She knew who most of the people were here, where we were at, what street we were on. We'd go back in the woods to the gardens. Yeah. So even though, again, and it's very parallel till today you and I both do golf carts. Yeah. We can bring that love and joy, that inspiration, but also that fun. Yeah. The people that might not be able to get here.
Absolutely. And that's why we started Golf Cart Adventures.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, because there's so many people that watch, and some can get here, some can't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I feel the same, but we want everybody to experience this.
Give them a taste.
Yes, and you can, and I think just kind of seeing it, you can feel that peace as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
So, all right, so I'll tell you a story. Okay, about a kid's story. So when my granddaughter was about 10, I was mentoring a class for Elaine, and I brought her here to the Lyceum, to Elaine Thomas, everybody. And my granddaughter had never experienced anything with this other than what I talked about. And so I said, just bring some books and some games, and you can sit in the corner, Right. So it took about a half an hour, and she said, Grandma, I want to participate. Can I give messages too, right? So she did, and she was giving messages, and actually to this day, she's an adult, and people still talk about the messages she gave.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and then I remember she had to go get us lunch. So and the Lyceum was open, so I couldn't leave.
Right.
So I said, "Here's a map. Oh my God, be careful. Walk down the streets and whatever." So she comes back with lunch, and she almost was like in a daze. And she said, "Grandma, I didn't need the map. Like I could figure out where I was because I feel like I've been here before, right?" So I thought that was pretty cool. And of course I encouraged that, and like your mom encouraged that. So I wanted to ask you, if somebody is having that experience with their grandchild or their child, and they're seeing spirit, what should a parent do?
Well, I would encourage it. I would encourage it. You know, we have to, if you believe in heaven, if you believe in spirit, what comes out of the mouth of children, little kids especially, going 2, 3, 4, is pure. Is pure. It's when we get into school and adults take things away. For example, we can make the sky purple and gold and silver and pink. And, you know, when we get older, maybe 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, the sky has to be white, blue, or gray. We can't have any in between.
Yeah.
You know, we're blessed here at Lilydale. We've had Children's and Teen Week. I've been reading for kids for, I don't know, as long as I can remember, which is nice. And, you know, I remember my nephew Lee called me, his little boy CJ, my other nephew. They called me about midnight one night, and he's like, "Aunt Jan, I don't know what to do. Little CJ says he's having ice cream with Grandma and Great Graham." He's like, "What do I do?" I said, "You give him ice cream. You give him ice cream." And then I asked CJ, "Hey, how's Graham? How's Great Graham?" Tell him I said hi. And there's a whole conversation. So what I did on my end was write it down and then explain to my nephew Lee, his father, how to encourage that always.
Yeah, and let them know. Like my other granddaughter said, "Grandma, I see angels all the time. Do you think that's real?" And I said, "How does it feel?" And she said, "It makes me feel safe. I feel protected." And I said, "Then talk to them and let them be there with you. Always invite them in, right?"
Talking about angels, I worked with the families of, and this goes back sometime, U.S. Air Flight 427 that went over, had crashed right outside of the Pittsburgh airport in Beaver County, PA. And I remember we had close to, I think it was around 400 or 500 kids and families on a field lining it that was soccer. And I remember working with the little kids, and it was a horrific. All 132 passengers and crew passed away.
Wow.
And it was tragic. It really was. And I remember working with some of the little kids, and we're talking kindergarten, 1st, 2nd. And a couple of the kids had said to me, you know, "Dr. D, there were angels flying around the plane." And when you hear something like that, I have to trust.
Oh yeah.
I have to trust in the divine.
Oh yeah.
We might not understand why such horrible things happen, and when you talk with a kid or child that way, but to know, if I would call it God's grace, spirit, the divine, angels were there.
That's amazing.
That always sticks in my head.
Yeah. And that's going to stick in my chills when you're saying it. I know, yeah, I mean, how healing, what a healing thing to see. You know, I think we all need to, like you said, children see that stuff. And you're right, it gets kind of taken away as they go to school, and they don't focus on their imagination anymore. And I think we need to figure out a way to let them keep that.
Well, I think that's probably why they have people like us in their lives. They encourage them, family members, family apart.
And Children's Week too, right? Because isn't that what that's all about?
Yeah, Children's Week and Teen Week. But my hope is that people understand it's not just about mediumship. It was about creative writing. It was about healing, learning traditional song from elders, spending time having fun being a kid, hide and go seek, playgrounds, picnics, all those fun things that we've been missing for 20-something months. We now have back, which is beautiful.
Yeah, and it's good. Like when you say that, I'm thinking I want to go play hide and go seek and go on a golf cart race or something too, right?
Golf cart races. I do believe this is where I'll play out myself. We started golf cart racing. I don't know, maybe I did. Something like that. Anyways, this goes back. Honestly, who are we kidding? At least to like 2006, 2007, 2008. And what we would do is after the 5:30, anyone who had a golf cart, we would line up. The meeting place was usually like Bob's Bargain Shop, and we would have someone who'd be like ready, set, go. And you'd see all these golf carts taking off, and then we'd go in different directions and usually have a goal, like you had to go and find something or do so many loops around.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I was riding with Sharon Russell, who's on Cup of Joe, who was an LDA member here, And we opted to stop the race because there was a party, and we didn't know whose party it was at the pavilion. They had music and food. So we hit our golf cart and jumped into the party and had music and food. So we had a good time. It was awesome.
Any reason, I think we should start those again.
I'm up there. You know, we'll get in trouble because we're talking about this. Because then you want to know who was all doing the golf carts. And like, mum was the word at that point. No one said anything.
All right, well.
But it's just a good way to have some fun.
Gotta have some fun. Like, I think when you're talking about kids, we all need to connect to our kids' side sometimes, right? That's our free side.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like the freedom of kids to dance in the street and sing. And, you know, I never sing because my voice is not good.
But you
as a kid, I didn't care.
Singing the tune of Angie.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Nothing
right.
wrong with that.
Yeah. So let's talk about, we have Sir Tibbetts Wick, and look at him,
This
how
is what he
relaxed
does.
he is here.
In the best way.
Yeah.
He just chills in here.
He's beautiful.
Thank you.
I
He
love
is
him.
a multi-poo. He is all his papers, immersion papers, therapy dogs, you name it, he's got it. He's a good pup. His friends were actually canine German shepherds. One of my dear friends, her name was Alyssa Weimer. Her and her husband have a place called Paw and Order Training, and that's who we did all our papers.
Oh, okay.
So he was actually at Children's and Teen Week. His Wednesday morning class was Sir Tibbetts Wick Company. So and he did great. We also volunteer at some hospitals, cancer units. He gets to see patients, kids, adults, all ages, all stages of cancer, also recovering. And what I love is the little kids. We twin. What I mean by that, I might have, I'm a Pittsburgh girl living in the New York world, so I might have a Steelers jersey or Pirates or Penguins or
I've seen
a colored shirt. And what I'll do, he'll be a show little kid. He's got the same. You got the same shirt he does. I'm like, hey, I do.
Yeah.
So, but he's a killer.
Yeah, he's a
brings
dealer.
joy.
No, you can tell that he does.
brings
He
joy.
smiles every time I see him.
He
smiles.
does. He gets
smiles.
that. When that tongue hangs out and he's got that look, that's when he's at his prime.
Yeah, for sure.
He's at his prime.
He makes you happy.
And you know, pets are great. You know, they're part of the family at heart. They're healing. They see a lot of times, I'm sure. You know, you've got a pup there.
Yeah.
They might go like this, and you're like, what are they looking at?
Yeah. Yeah. Or what are they barking at?
Very well.
Or what's going on? Yeah, I think
Very
so.
well.
They see spirit. What you say.
Without a doubt.
And I think I've had this too, where I think somebody's dog passes and the other dog is like looking off into the corner and the other dog is barking. And I always feel that the dog that's still here is seeing that other dog.
Without a doubt, we have to remember we're one breath away. You know, one of the things I do is, you know, I do pet and animal breeds, and which is pretty incredible. And I think, you know, when it first started, it was years ago. A woman had come to me and I was reading for her, giving her identifiers for her husband, what have you. And I said, you know, he's bringing in an alligator. And the first thing I thought was in my mind, I'm sure it's a stuffed one. And I said, he just wants you to love the alligator. And she started laughing and then crying. She's like, no, you don't understand. He made a moat in one part of her house. He was in heaven, spirit. Yeah. And she says, I have this alligator. I don't know what to do with it. So then we had to work to try and find a home.
Oh, okay.
So,
wow, and that came up,
right.
Now you always say you can't make this stuff
you
up,
can't.
right?
So you always want to trust your process.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
It might not make sense to you, but it made perfect sense to her.
I know, I've learned that too.
You
have
brought,
to say it.
and Jan, you brought my dog through one year at the Forest Temple, and you were saying, I see a bird. It's something about a bird. I'm not sure, but it's a dog, and I'm seeing or hearing bird. And my dog's name was Birdie.
Oh my gosh.
So I've watched you work at the stump, and it's incredible how you bring through pets and your accuracy.
I appreciate that. I really do. And you know how I usually explain that is all we do, all I do is demonstrate the continuity of life for heaven and earth. That's it. And that is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It really is a pleasure and privilege to be of service, no matter what that service is. Us doing message work, or doing therapy dogs, or delivering food to someone who needs it. Absolutely. Whatever it is. Yeah, whatever it is.
Absolutely. And actually, I was going to talk about that too, because I've seen you work at the stump too. Yeah. And I came here years ago before I was ever part of Lilydale and watched you work. I'd be like, Janice is up there. I'm staying.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's good, but I think it's thank you, you know, for what you do, because I know it takes a lot, right, bring mediumship into your life and get up there and do that? Did it for you?
I think everything's a risk. Often my family, they love me. They come up here. I asked my friend Nikki, I don't know, it was probably like last November. I said, hey, Nick, I got a normal life like everyone else, right? And I love her to pieces. I was just talking to her this morning because I'm colorblind, but I didn't realize that let's say the word she used on my living room was eclectic. And, I remember saying, like, hey, a normal life, like, your family and all this. And she just paused. And, she had a spirited libation. I had pop. And she took a sip and she said, you're just different, Jam. Just different. And I'm like, whoa. She's like, kind of like Rudolph. It's just different. It's all different.
Just different in the best way.
Well, and I think when you do this work, we put everything out there. There's absolutely nothing to hold back, and people either accept you and like you and love you. They may not understand it, but support you, or they don't. And again, that's okay. Whatever fits for you is okay with me.
I feel the same. I feel the same. And for us, it's about faith and trust.
Always.
Yeah, because how many times, like you said, the alligator, I see a dog and I keep seeing Birdie, and me too, I've said so many things, and I think that I don't want to say it doesn't make any sense, but I say it, it's not about making sense to me, it's the person, right?
And we have to trust the process, doing this work, and again, I've explained to people, I say a prayer, and once I'm done with my prayer, anything and everything that comes out, I trust. It doesn't need to make sense to me. It makes sense to the person. So I may say, two wild boar, or there's these, wild pigs that are outside and they're making a connection with you. And I don't know what I'm saying. They're like, oh my God, we have that outside our door every day. And I'm like, oh, okay, good for you. And that's where the whole thing, you can't make this stuff up. Last week, I was doing a message out at Forest Temple, and names will come in, identifiers, and that's great. But when you get to the crux of the message, it's about hope and about joy. So that loved ones are fine. Yeah. And before I was leaving one person, I said, oh, and I said, your grandpa says Tinky. And this woman just looked and broke out laughing and crying. And I thought, okay. And she says, I understand. I said, you can tell me that later, and that's great. So you make those connections. And again, you trust.
And then when you saw that with her, because I've had experiences like that too, and then I feel like the healing was delivered, right? Because that's what we do this for.
It's all about being of service for me, and I've always said, I grew up with a family that is all about service. It's a pleasure and privilege. This was not on my list in kindergarten, first, fourth, and sixth grade. Oh, I'd like to be a medium. That wasn't on the list. I think we fall into it.
We fall into it.
And, to be able to help someone heal and find peace. Yeah. And to really know that their loved ones are okay. And maybe that's the first time they then begin to believe in a heaven. And what we wouldn't give for that, I get emotional. For that last touch, or that last conversation, or to say, hey, let's have that cup of tea. Yeah. And meanwhile, our loved ones are having that tea or coffee with us every day, looking out the same window because they're with us.
They're right there.
All
they're
the
right
time.
There. Yeah, I know what you mean, but I feel the same way about that. And I did one yesterday for a woman her husband suddenly died 2 months ago. And she came in and very upset, and I did the reading and trusted everything that came through. And then I looked at her when I was done, and she was lighter somehow. Like her energy was lighter, and she was still crying because crying's part of it. We have to let people cry, and that's okay. And then, but she was smiling, it was different. And I felt happy about it because I thought that's healing. Right. That's what I want to do.
We help change lives for the better. And, if COVID hasn't taught me or us anything, I think for me, it's taught me and wants me to be a better person. Yeah. Whether, as a human being, as a medium, as a minister, as an educator, as a trainer, I talk about mom and dad every day, the daughter, sister, partner, friend, whatever that role is that all of us play, to make us a better person and to really trust that we help others heal. Yeah. And that's that's the beautiful part.
Huge. It's so
It really is.
It is. It is a mediumship, and really anybody watching, we're all mediums, right? First of all,
I always say to everyone, I said, we're all baby mediums. We got to start off somehow, some way. And
Baby
I
mediums.
love saying that, especially the kids. And I remember asking that at one point, like, oh, we're all baby mediums, huh? And then we grow.
yeah,
And then we grow. And you know, that's beautiful. And to be able to carry that legacy or legacies of those that have taught or shared or supported us that have, you know, gone to heaven. What a great way to honor them.
oh, it's beautiful. I'm getting chills. Everything you're saying.
Yeah,
So
it's just cool. You know, I look at Sir Tibbetts Wick and you know, there's not a doubt in my mind that he was heaven sent. And I think of all the pets I had, and there's one pet I had, Smudge, was also a therapy dog, and I remember it was her birthday, and I was upstairs in the bedroom, and all of a sudden there was a wisp. And for those that don't know what a wisp is, use your imagination, kind of just like a little puff in a way, but like a little wisp. And I had her dog tag on the dresser, and I thought, well, I guess that's the way she's saying hello.
Yeah.
So we take the heavenly hellos however we can.
you gotta trust them. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got. I always say that to people. Pay attention to anything that happens out of the ordinary, and that's your loved one communicating with you. They're always giving signs,
Always,
and our animals too.
always. And Sir Tibbs at times will look and he'll go, and I'll be like, okay, who are you seeing now? What's going on?
Yeah, yeah.
So they know.
I think that too. So I want to ask you too, because I know you have a class coming up, right, in August.
Yes.
A workshop for Lilydale.
Yes.
So and it's about fairies.
It is. It's about forests and fairies.
Forests and fairies,
And
okay.
a large part of that is about forest bathing. And probably the best way to describe, and I've done the forest bathing live on Facebook, you know, like how we all will do different things to share with people. Walking in the woods, walking in nature, but what are the gifts that you find? Do I believe in fairies? Absolutely. I was a doubting Thomas. I had to see to believe. I had seen what would be blinking lights. I have pictures that I've taken. There's one that's really cool. I'll have to show you, and it's of these two fairies or fairy beings together, and they're like a bluish light. And I not capture, but you know, did the photograph and caught them in photo, whatever we got to a fairy trail.
Yeah.
So
You got it.
I got it.
You got it. That's awesome. Well, I think too. You go to the stump, like when it's starting to get dark out, right?
Right.
You see all kinds of things out there.
Yeah, you know, I was explaining. I did the Adventures in Mediumship last night. Yeah, even at the Thought Exchange, I explained like if we're doing pictures, I like to hold the camera up and go 1, 2, 3, and you're doing like click, click, click so quick. There's like maybe a 6-second pause. And if it doesn't matter what phone you have, you can then put the picture live. You might not see something in that picture, but when you go back through, things pop. I caught a really cool picture of him last year. He loves to go down, other than being in love with Callie, who's the Havishon down at the Angel House. He loves to go up Shelley's Cave steps down here at the Angel House.
He does.
Even when people aren't here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, let's get a picture. It's cute, you know. So I did the 1, 2, 3. First picture is normal. He's going up the steps and he's standing. And then in the second picture, there's 2 dogs on his right side and one on the left. One was a lab who
Spirit dogs.
yeah.
Really.
I can't make that up. You can't.
I want to see it.
And it was just amazing because I had a dog years ago named Max. I thought, son of a gun, you know, he's probably drawn to one of the Angel Houses, named the Angel House for a reason, but there's pets around him, of course, and there was a rooster. And then when I looked at it more, it was just I just thought any steps he wants to stand on and go up, I'm gonna let him. And that was eye-opening.
Yeah, because you don't know what he's seeing and what
Exactly.
he's going toward.
But
who's
it's
he's feeling.
It's clear as day he had dogs on his side, and it was just. And I think the other photograph, and I hadn't published them yet. I've debated on it, and probably at some point I will in time.
I would say so.
Yeah, pre-COVID when we had Geshe Tenzin here and the different Tibetan monks, they were beloved monks, healers. When they were doing the Sam mandala at the ceremony for closing, they used what they call a doji. It's a metal-like object with little round points, and they cut into the sand. And then if you've witnessed it, they take a brush and they start brushing the stand because it's about impermanence of life.
Yeah.
And I was able to sit up close, and I just took pictures because I thought the process of everything was so beautiful.
Amazing.
And what I caught in one of the pictures was a dove from the sand. And at first you're like, okay.
I know.
And
we think that too, right?
right,
All the time when I see things, it's
absolutely.
like, what? Is that real?
And, I looked at the photos before, and then there's a formation of a dove, and I didn't know what to say. So I always, again, pleasure and privilege to sponsor them for Taco Tuesday. Feed them. I remember talking with
the monks.
Yeah,
Taco Tuesday?
yes. And
did they like it?
oh, they love it.
Yeah.
Vegetarian or vegan.
Yes,
but it's
yeah.
all good. And then we
Yeah.
have chocolate tacos, ice cream.
Awesome.
Cake
That's
chocolate.
awesome. Yeah. I'm coming next year.
Yeah, you come be my guest.
Okay.
But what had happened was that I said, I have this picture. I said, it's from the mandala when we do the beautiful sweep with the sand. And when I had showed them, he gathered the other monks around, and in essence, what he had said was during those powerful healings, often animal figures will manifest, and that it's a blessing.
Wow.
And of all blessings, a dove.
For peace.
So I have that framed up on.
Oh, I love that.
stand.
And how important is that right now?
Well,
right? We need peace and love in our world more than anything.
Seeing is believing, and yet we don't need to see anymore to believe.
Yeah.
Oh, we trust him.
Yeah. So, thank you.
This has been fun.
This has been awesome. Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, a little cup of coffee, a little chat time.
A little chat. Yeah. So everybody, this is Haven Salt Cave, and we're with Dr. Reverend Janice Dreschman. She's a registered Lilydale medium. You can go on her website, which is
spiritmessagework.com.
okay.
And Sir Tibbetts Wick is the Salt Cave manager.
Yes, he is.
So if it seems like a fit, please join us. We're also on Facebook under Psychic Medium. I think it's Janice Dreschman, Haven Salt Cave, and on Instagram. We just like having fun, and what a beautiful way to be able to do it, to serve God, Spirit of the Divine.
Oh my gosh, for sure.
It is a blessing.
For sure. I love how you say family of the heart.
Always.
Because that's so true, isn't it?
It is, and we have to remember not everyone may have a bloodline, or they may be adopted or not be able to have that connection or even know who their family is, and to be able to, even read for kids or for adults that were adopted, and to be able to give them information. I remember just real quick one read I said to a woman, I said, I said, what's coming through is that, there's a sibling. She's like, nope. I'm like, okay, well, here's the information. Give it to you. Nope. And
you trust and give it anyway.
A year later, she came back. She said, I have a sibling.
Wow.
So you just trust the process. But yeah, family of the heart has always been something that I've learned from my mom and dad.
Yeah, me too. I feel the same way about that. So everybody, we're going to post in the comments, right, Karen? They're going to have Janice's website. We can put your Facebook page in, and we'll also post too about the class, which is when?
August, I believe it's August 15th. It's Sunday in the afternoon. It'll be both live and Zoom. And I've done a couple of things on Facebook where I've taken pictures of what I would consider like fairy spots, and this way people can do the walk and find them if they want on their own, or even whenever I'm walking in the woods and we're doing it live. But we have one of the oldest old growth forests in the nation, which is gorgeous. And the other thing that we have that most people don't understand is one of the oldest pet cemeteries in the nation.
Yes.
And real quick, Sir Tibbetts and I, it was the Tuesday morning before lunch with the monks, and we were walking, and he took a left turn to the pet center. I'm like, okay, all right, let's go this path. We got to trust it. And we went up to this German Shepherd statue, nose to nose, and all of a sudden you heard a squeak toy go off 2 times. It's like it was his pitch of a squeak toy. And he stood and he looked at the statue and looked at me, and I looked at him and the statue, and I said, well, that was interesting. Okay, let's carry on. And we just kept going. So I know what a squeak toy sounds like.
For sure,
I know what birds and chipmunks and squirrels.
And that was a squeak toy.
It was a squeak toy for me.
Yeah, it's powerful, and that
It is.
pet cemetery, I love going in there. We took a little ride through there, and actually we're going to do that, I think, next week, everybody, that Joanne Copley-Nigro is going to be on, and we're going to go through that pet cemetery, so you should come too.
We-
Pleasure.
We went, and on the recording, we were talking about the horse. Can't remember the name at the moment. And it was the only story I could remember from Pet Cemetery. And we were headed back to the stump. And on the recording, you can hear what sounds like horse hooves following, the plopping and following us. So
Yeah,
I'm-
I forgot about that.
yeah, that was pretty cool.
That is cool. One of the things that he has done, where I have the ashes of Smudge and Sparky, the two pups I had with Robin, is he will go over to where the site is, and I never showed him. I mean, we're walking, and he would go right over, smell, do a circle, and either sit or lay down right in their spot. And I just figured, okay, well, energetically, he knows that that's a place of love.
Yeah.
And they were, I would assume, just kind of like hanging out, saying, "Hey, come on over here, freak your mom out, come on over here."
Come on, let's give your mom a real good sign, right?
Give her one.
Those real good signs.
Well, this has been a pleasure. and
This has
privilege. I
been
mean,
awesome.
sincerely.
Thank you
This
so
is
much.
just-
I
thank
love
you.
this.
Love
We've
you,
talked about
Jesus.
this, right? I love you too.
We have.
Yeah, and we've talked about it. Now here we are, and we got to thank Karen. You know, because
You're
without Karen,
awesome.
we'd have
Thank
no
you.
technical, no nothing, right, Karen?
Yeah.
I
It's a little less technical when I'm not able to put in comments but
I guess the other thing is, the question is do you want to go out and golf cart?
Yes, that's what we're doing next. Golf cart racing. Everybody watch that on Facebook Live. We're going to
You
do
got
that
it. Oh,
soon.
we are.
We're going to have a big one with the scavenger hunt.
We'll
Right
see
for
how
everybody
it
to
goes.
see.
I'm sure
That's
we'll
right.
get in trouble.
We don't
Welcome
mind.
to the
We don't
club.
mind. You got to have fun, right?
All good.
So
Thank you very much.
thank you everybody so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll see you next Wednesday on Golf Cart Adventures in Lilydale with Angie and Karen. Thank you.
Thank you.